Grand Hood Rising Kings and Queens, Trap Witch here in Atlanta, Georgia, coming to touch in with a intuitive reading for you guys for the remaining time of Mercury retrograde. I usually only do these readings during the moons or if I feel compelled to share a topic, but being that this Mercury retrograde has caught a lot of people off guard, a lot of people thought that they was done with a lot of shit that they just thought that they was done with, and they wasn't. So I wanted to touch base and give you guys some guidance on how to deal with the last remaining time. It's supposed to close up shop around the 15th, 16th, and then you give or take the shadow, which should be like a few days. Let's just say, to be safe, April 22nd. I just want to say, give it a week after. Give it a week. But with that being said, I want to tap in and see what is some guidance that we can take into consideration in making the best of this time and the lessons that Mercury has left for us, and what we can try and avoid, if anything, and what we can take into consideration in our highest good so that we don't make an ass of ourselves. Because before Mercury retrograde started, okay? Before Mercury retrograde started, I spoke about my message around the moon, the Libra full moon. It said, don't make an ass of yourself making assumptions, okay? And I think a lot of us, we begin to make an ass of ourselves because we made assumptions about things that we thought we were over. We thought we were done with. We thought we had already received the lessons. And lo and behold, Mercury's like, bitch, I got you. Again, Mercury's really slick. This time I found it, a lot of the lessons is like, oh, you thought you was done? And now we're here like, Mercury, is you finished? Or is you done? Is you over? And we're like, no. Mercury right now, the retrograde is coming in like January. Like January felt like a whole year. So with that being said, I'm going to tap in. I'm going to give you an intuitive reading, okay? From the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck by Sally Ann Glassman. And then I'm going to give you an accompanying card to close it out with the Doreen Virtue Archangel deck, okay? So go ahead and make yourself comfortable, get you a notebook, get you something that you can take notes so you can have this for the next coming 10 to 12 days, give or take, where you just kind of like making sure you stay in check, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? If you want to take a few breaths with me, we're going to take like, let's take 3 breaths, okay? Kind of get yourself centered in a good space. All right, let's go. Ugh. Spirit, I call you in on behalf of the collective, and I ask for the highest good of all those involved with harm to none. I ask Alegua to open the roads to precise messages. I ask for clarity, clear perception, proper guidance in tapping in and intuitively delivering a message for those who may be watching, and also for myself as being a part of the collective. I ask, what is it subconsciously underlying below the surface, beyond the veil, that could be to the highest good of our benefit, to make sure that we move along to the next level of our ascension and transcendence and grace and humility with clear intention. What is it that you have to say for these remaining days of Mercury retrograde that may be of the highest good to us, to make sure that we don't act a fool, act out, or act prematurely, and anything in any way that may detour us from being in alignment with our destiny and our higher self. I call on the assistance of our Egun, our ancestors, our spirit guides of benevolence only, that may be present and may be guiding us in order to see clearly and have clairvoyance, clairaudience, and claircognizance to do what is best and in our highest interests. With good intention and proper execution, what is it that we should keep in mind in these remaining days of Mercury retrograde? All right, let's go ahead and pull us some cards. 1, 2. Ooh, 3, 4, 5. All right. My number's 5. Okay. First card, Agwe La Flambeau. 4 of Wands in the traditional tarot. Okay, 4 of Wands. Union, harmony, marriage, celebration. In traditional tarot, the 4 of Wands shows this beautiful scene of a couple that have just gotten married. And they're going to the happy home in the background. This Mercury retrograde, at least for me, and I know with a lot of people, has been a marriage and a union of taking where we have come from and now trying to marry it with where we want to go. In the past week, I've done a few readings on Instagram, and one of the main things that came up, right, was the divine masculine. And what I love about Mercury retrograde, it brings up a lot of our shadow side, okay? And to me, the shadow is more masculine. And I spoke about earlier this week how some of us have a negative relationship with our divine masculine side, okay? Where it's the bachelor. All of us have a little bachelor in us. And some of us have what I called the eligible bachelor. And some of us have the committed bachelor. An eligible bachelor to me is a single man who has the intention to marry, but hasn't found a good fit for him yet. And the committed bachelor is a man who's quite happy doing the things that he's committed to doing, that he likes doing a certain way, although it might not be in reflective of his highest good in the long run, okay? I also spoke about how the bachelor, the word bachelor, right? Why do we use the word bachelor in regards to a degree or the other name for an undergraduate degree, okay? Meaning, yes, an undergraduate or a bachelor's degree can get you a basic job in this day and age, but sometimes it requires going back to school and having higher learning, which becomes a master's degree, right? And then you might go back and then you might get a doctorate's degree, correct? Either way, for me, the key theme of marriage coming up in the past week and The Bachelor, right? A lot of you guys have the desire to do more with your life, want to do better, want to do great things. You want to marry to your higher self going forward, correct? But in a way, it's like you're having a hard time maybe doing what it takes to get to that place, right? And a lot of us don't realize that our masculine energy, even with the positive traits of it, right? Positive traits of masculine energy are honor, authenticity, integrity, protection, okay? A lot of us don't realize that in order to marry our higher selves with positive masculine energy, we have to do what is honorable. We have to do what is authentic. We have to do what it is with the highest, most integrity. We have to protect everything that we have by any means necessary in order to get to those higher self, right? In order to go from the bachelor to the master. Someone who has mastered the commitment, correct? The committed bachelor is someone who is committed to their bullshit, right? They might have a hard time marrying a higher version of themselves because they're quite committed to doing things inappropriately, okay? Not authentically, not with integrity, not protecting your highest interest or highest good, being very combative, okay? In order to become a higher version of ourselves, we have to understand that we cannot fight the universe, because the universe says either commit to what it is that's going to benefit you in the long run, or I will force you to, okay? A lot of times when you think about negative masculine energy, sometimes the only way for a man, I realize, to learn is to hit something hard and fast. And a lot of people realize with Mercury retrograde is that if they are resisting making the necessary changes to do better, the universe is going to make you crash into something hard and fast for you to be like, and if you can avoid getting scared straight, why wouldn't you? There's a lot of things with men, right? I find with masculine energy where it takes something traumatic before there's a desire to change. And you don't want something to be super traumatic in order for you to want to do better. Okay? So ask yourself, am I truly committing to doing better for myself and marrying to the higher version of myself? Am I doing my best to align what I've gone through with what is coming that could be better for me? Everything that you have gone through up until this point is a part of your path and a part of your journey, okay? But you have to take responsibility and accountability to not repeat what it is that's kept you in sadness and in chaos and kept you not growing. And sometimes one of the biggest sacrifices I find about moving forward into your higher self is leaving behind behavior that no longer serves you. A lot of times we want the growth, but we don't want to give up the gratification, right? Think about The Bachelor again. The Bachelor being the man who could do as he pleases. He could court any woman that he wants, right? Look at this. In your life, your inner bachelor, right? That's used to doing what they want. Courting anything that might actually create more drama for you than actually creating a better life. Okay? Because the second card, Ludamare, reverse. Ludamare is who we call God in Santeria and Ifa. Okay? Above. This card talks about taking your sadness and making a home that's fit for the indwelling of Obatala. Who's Obatala? Obatala is a mature, wise, patient man. And the truth is, Obatala was not always this way. Obatala in his younger days was reckless. Man, he liked to get drunk on palm wine. He liked to do it up. But over time, he realized that wasn't serving him. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, what are you committed to, right? Because the Bachelor and your divine masculine energy within you, whether you're a man or a woman, are you committed to the Bachelor life of just partaking in things that constantly create drama for you? You know, when people talk about the man who's the committed bachelor who's got plenty of women and plenty of options, right? How many of you have too many options, right? And how many of those options are actually not long-term beneficial to you that actually serve your highest good? Okay? A lot of times I realize when men date multiple women, they're looking for different qualities in different people that satisfy something that they won't commit to satisfying within themselves for the long term. Everything that you look for in everybody else can be found within you, but it takes cultivation and it takes development. Again, it takes from becoming the bachelor and the undergraduate to becoming the master. Okay? So the third card, Couché, the Hermit card, talks about going within. These people are initiates who are in a womb-like room, and they've got these chickens at the end of the bed, okay? And let's be just straight. In voodoo and shit, they use chickens for sacrifices to reap a blessing. So with this being said, what sacrifices are you willing to make to reap a blessing? And these people are in here and they're waiting for a rebirth. Okay, they're waiting for a rebirth. But they've made the sacrifice. How many of us, like I said, won't make the sacrifice? A bachelor, negative divine masculine energy within us that won't have honor, integrity, and protect our highest good, will we not commit to those sacrifices of doing what it takes to do that, to become the master now of the next level of our life? Okay? Many of you are conflicted. 5 of Wands, Ogun La Flambeau. Ogun La Flambeau is shown as the soldier here coming back from war. He's gone through a lot of destruction, but now talks about taking those destructive forces and using it to create something else. Again, everything you've gone through up until this point has served a purpose. It's been a learning lesson. But in order to come into your destiny, to come into things that serve you, you have to ask yourself, how do I take this now and turn it into gold? Okay? How do I... This is not fucking burning and it's irritating me. How do I turn it into fucking gold? How do I take all of this gloominess that I've gone through and turn it into fucking G status? How do I become a goddess of my own? How do I become an OG to the shit? Right? Because an OG is somebody who's gone through life. They've gone through life. They've been through experiences. They've been through things, and they've become a vessel of wisdom, an OG to the game. Okay? And so what games have you partook in that you're saying, you know what? I'm good on a lot of this shit. I got the wisdom. Now it's time to get the fuck on. Okay? Because a lot of people are still okay with the go on and get by, as I said. Or get up and get by. Okay? Again, a bachelor. He's okay with the go on and get by. He wake up, he eat his cereal, he go to work, he fucking work out, fuck some bitches on the weekend, whatever have you. And be okay with that. But guess what? But still not have something more meaningful. So with all of this destruction you might have gone through, what is the meaning that you have found in it to now move you forward? Because the Chariot card, the dance card comes up. Look like we matching, right? Here it shows these women in a tambour, which is a dance which calls down the spirit. And the spirit comes through people that are oracles or mediums to deliver messages. So what are you going to have as the messages coming through you to move you forward now? Okay? Yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it the day before? I wrote about what it talks about in West African Ifa, and it says, you can have a bad destiny and good ori and come into your destiny, but you can be given a good destiny and have bad ori and never come into what you are built and made for that will be so beautiful for you. What is ori? Ori is your consciousness. It is at the top of your head. It's that crown chakra, right? So many of you don't realize you were born and destined to the crown. You were born destined for a seat on the throne. But some of you never take the throne. Some of you never feel the crown upon your head, because every time you might get close to getting crowned, you acting like this. And how the fuck you gonna sit a crown on your head if you acting a straight fucking plum fool? Okay? So many of us don't realize that we cannot be committed to the bullshit of a life of we're doing the same shit over and over that is not serving us in our highest good. Divine masculine energy is such a beautiful thing. Our shadow side is a beautiful thing. Our shadow side is the teacher that teaches us how to master every level of our being on every level that we go through in life. Because how will we know good without the bad? But so many of us are running from the shadow. We're running because we scared. And how can you conquer your demons until you face them? I know myself personally over the past week. I've been facing myself and been like, damn, bitch, you got a lot of motherfucking demons you ain't conquered yet. You got a lot of that shadow that wants to be transmuted into positive energy. But what are you going to do in order to allow that to work for you ritually and relinquish the bad parts of it? How are you going to grow unless you don't do better? Because the truth is, a lot of us know better, but we don't do better. That's like The Bachelor again. This masculine energy that's like, damn, you know what? I shouldn't be playing all these women, or I shouldn't be playing the fool, or I shouldn't be playing dumb. I know better, but I just don't want to do better. I like entertaining my bullshit because it's easier not to do the work. It's so easy not to do the work. But guess what? You'll never come into what you're destined for. A king or a queen rules because they ain't afraid to do the work. They might got a court around them. They might got assistants. But guess what? The work inevitably falls on them because they got to make the decisions. They got to have the ori, or the consciousness, in order to do what is right. Okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and pull an angel card to tie all this together, shall we? I don't want to make this long and drawn out. Nurture. Archangel Gabriel. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. You know why that's fitting? Because again, when I speak of this masculine energy, sometimes the Bachelor, or this, again, I'm just going to call them the masculine energy that needs to do better. The Bachelor hasn't found or given somebody the chance to nurture them the way they should. They don't give themselves the opportunity to be nurtured the way they do. That's why that Four of Wands card goes so beautiful at the beginning. What I didn't touch on is that in the book, this card talks about how a union of opposites, and how this boat is so constructed to endure a lot of work. It is going to make it, right? Does your inner masculine now require doing a lot of work to endure all of this turbulence that you're going over? But guess what? The union of opposites. It requires your feminine energy to now say, you know what? You know what, Bachelor? Inner Bachelor? What do we want to create? What do we want to do? What kind of life do we want? So how are we going to do this? Because at the end of the day, the female is there for the creation, but the man's like, how are we going to do it? It's the teamwork make the dream work. And your inner divine masculine and feminine, they need to work together to come together in marriage and union and harmony. So what we finna do? We finna do this? We finna say, I do? We finna jump the broom? We finna take the broom and sweep out all the shit that no longer serves us, right? Because this is the thing. They say 2 heads is better than 1. And anything they said, what did it say? Damn, I was about to be so smooth with it and it slipped me. Anything, this is really gonna bug me. Anything with 2 heads is a monster. It's gonna irritate the fuck out of me that slipped me. Y'all gonna have to look that shit up. Anything with 2 heads that can't agree is a monster. I don't know. It's gone. Y'all gonna have to Google the shit. Google 2 heads monster and the quote will come up. 2 heads is better than 1. Okay? So in a marriage, that's why 2 heads, 2 opposite heads, need to work together in their strengths to make the marriage work. Okay? That's the thing. So many of us focus on our weaknesses, right? And don't realize that the answer is right there in them, right? So it's like, if I can recognize how I'm doing wrong, I can do better. If I realize what mess I'm creating, how can I ask myself how I'm not going to create that shit? Masculine, feminine energy is meant to reproduce. So based now on what you're trying to create in your life going forward, ask yourself, what is holding you back from that? Okay, it's something that you're doing. But a lot of y'all have too much fucking pride and too much fucking ego to to really confront yourself and say, you know what? I gotta put my pride aside. Because damn, if men don't love sticking to their pride and being in denial. How many of y'all in that negative masculine energy of being in denial and being in your pride and not wanting to do what is necessary to relinquish that and say, you know what? I'm gonna put my pride aside and I'm gonna protect my highest good and my highest interest by doing what I need to breathe change into my life. There's no way around it. And the only person that it conflicts with is you. Maybe you don't know how right now to go about it. Take your time and go within. Sometimes when you can't find out how in this moment, you got to ask yourself how you did shit before and how that did not serve you. Okay? How did that not serve you? That's the answer to going forward. Sometimes you got to try multiple different ways, and whatever just doesn't work, just don't work. But if you see something and you start doing it and you're like, oh, there's a win, then sometimes you need to continually do that. Consistency. Because a baby win can turn into a big win. Okay? Sometimes I know, especially with men, you gotta spoon feed men like they babies, right? You gotta give them a little bit at a time. Like, oh, you like that? Okay, here's more. And then train them. You gotta do that with your inner masculine sometimes. You say, oh, look, I did something new that seems to be working a little bit. Let me do it. And you could go from doing it small to doing it big. Consistency is the key. But when you say you just don't want to do something without trying it, without whatever, you will stay in a sense of lower learning for a very long time. So right now, in this coming week of Mercury retrograde, ask yourself, how am I going to go from being the undergraduate to the graduate for this level? How am I going from the bachelor to the master? Okay? How am I going to go from being singled out from all the blessings that I want to be committed to my higher self that's going to reap so much for me? How? Okay? So with that being said, we're going to close with a little meditation, something, okay? Oh, okay. To me, masculine energy, it's head and heart. A little bit of the root too. So I kind of want you to acknowledge your root, right? A solid foundation going forward. How are you going to be committed to the solid foundation? There's this quote that I love that says, if a man can't protect what is in his home, he can't do shit in the world. And so you ask yourself, how am I going to protect this home of my being in such of a way of integrity, with your ego aside, without being ridiculously caught up in your pride, and being honest with yourself to be like, you know what? I'm going to protect what I need to protect in order to be the best that I can be going to this next level. I'm going to continue to do that with my heart, right? Anything that's not true to my heart, fuck it, man. But heart is not instant gratification. Heart is not lusty. Heart is not just like, ooh, like the divine masculine that's like, I'm going to go dip my dick in a whole bunch of shit, right? How many of y'all keep dipping your theoretical dick, even you a woman, in shit that you ain't trying to create shit with? So stay the fuck out of it. Because if you keep dipping yourself in it and all it does is create conflict and drama for you, that's not where you fucking need to be. So you need to take it back. You need to take it back and be like, you know what? I'm going to just put myself where serves me, so that I don't have drama, so that I don't have conflict, so I don't have things coming and attacking my peace that ain't for me. And I'm going to be smart about it, right? I got to use my head and be like, you what? Nah, that's not a good decision. So what am I going to do? Because I know those things ain't for me. I know that this life that I'm living, there's got to be more, but I got to commit myself. I got to have discipline. Discipline is a motherfucking word. You feel me? So let's go ahead, close our eyes, okay? Spirit, we ask on behalf of the collective who are tuning in right now, and on behalf of myself, that we are guided to move forward through this period of learning, to graduate from the bachelor to the master. We ask that we relinquish anything that is not serving us to do better going forward. We ask for the discipline. We ask for the commitment. We ask for the consistency. We ask for the honor, the integrity, the authenticity, to be honest with ourselves and be able to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, I'm going to do what serves me and what is best. I'm going to do it with security. I'm going to do it with all my heart. I'm going to do what it takes to put my mind to what is going to carry me to the next level of ascension, because I am committed to my higher self. I am no longer committed to the drama. I am no longer committed to the conflict. I'm not committed to the turmoil. And where this begins with is it begins with me. When I become committed to the highest version of myself, because when I know better, I need to do better. I will no longer entertain drama in my life, whether it be within myself or with others, because I have discipline. I am discipline. I am honor. I am integrity. I am the most positive aspects of divine masculine energy, because those are within me, and those are what is going to carry me through. I need to do what is best to protect my peace. I need to do what is best to honor what it is my destiny that I've come to this plane to carry out and serve. I ask that my inner feminine energy nurture my masculine energy in a healthy way. I ask to attract feminine energy that can help create that peace within me to carry out and do what I need to do as my mission on this plane. With that being said, I relinquish what is not serving my most healthy aspects of my divine masculine energy, and I release it. How y'all feel? Yes. So like I said, I am the Trap Witch. I like to think of myself as a spiritual hype man, because I'm rooting for you. Okay? I'm rooting for you. And the thing is, you gotta root for yourself. We don't need no motherfucking cheerleaders in life. Okay? We don't need cheerleaders. We need to be our own hype men. We need more players in the game. Okay, we don't need people from the sidelines, okay? Because a lot of times we go looking for validation in the cheerleaders on the sidelines. And guess what? That's just going to keep us distracted from putting our head in the game. So right now, I'm going to ask you, how you going to change the gameplay going forward? How you going to put your mind, your heart into the game? How you going to keep everything secure? How you going to keep the play secure so you can win? Okay? So right now, I ask of you, anything that you are trying to win with that keeps you losing, relinquish it. Let it the fuck go. Okay? I love you all. I send you peace. I send you prosperity. I send you infinite blessings. And I ask that you have love for yourself that you try to give to the world and come up short. It will always start and end with you. You are the love that you have been looking for. The one that you are waiting to come along is you. But you need to do what it takes to go within and find your inner voice. Okay? And when you find that and you quiet yourself enough to listen, your sight will open. Your hearing will open. Your feelings will open. And you will begin to be guided in a way that you can do what it takes to fulfill your destiny on this plane. And with that, I wish you the best the rest of this Mercury retrograde, and may you use it now to do what is better for you going forward than what has not have served you in the past. Love and light, y'all. Peace.